Reed. He's going to run it. Taylor running left. Cuts upfield. He's 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, UCA. It's over. How about Taylor Reed blasting up the left side for a touchdown? Hey, a career game for number 15 today, huh?
We've been very fortunate to have Sully, Justin, and Monty do our games now for 8 years. We're in the 8th year with that crew, and obviously we think they're the best around. Certainly the best in Division I in the FCS, and we feel like the best in our state. Very professional, very excitable. We're very fortunate to have some professional folks doing our broadcasts, and they're great to listen to, and they really give you an idea and a sense of what's going on in the game, and certainly there's no more exciting touchdown calls than Sully provides. You know, the sound bites that Sully provides for you guys, and then certainly for the rest of the media, are very entertaining and very fun to listen to. You know, from my experience, when I go on to a road game, I get to sit in the radio booth, so I'm watching the game while hearing these guys call the game, and that's a really interesting situation and a neat perspective to have to watch UCA football, and I love it.
We've got probably as good a chemistry as any group that I've ever worked with. They both do a lot of homework, and I think that's evident, you know, when you come on each week. And you know, I don't have to do the research that these guys have to do, because I'm on the sideline and I'm observing and I'm looking for stuff that I can pounce on, just real like injuries or overhear what the coaches are telling the players, things like that. The few times that we've had problems, gosh, we work well together. I think we do anyway, and you know, I think we've grown as a crew very, very well. Very, very well. You know, Steve has just got so much excitement about him. Bless his heart, he sounds like he's about to blow a gasket sometime. He gets so excited. And then Justin kind of calms him down a little bit, you know. And yeah, I think some excitement, number one. Number two, they are absolutely thrilled to be there each and every week. You know, they've been around long enough now to where they kind of see what UCA football and athletics are all about, and you know, their preparation, to me, is what it's all about for them. It really is. I look, for example, you know, Steve E sends the game notes out, and if I see that we're getting close to a record, you know, I'll make note of that. I get with, you know, the training staff before the ball game and say, okay, guys, where are we on injuries, that sort of thing. I might visit with Steve Campbell and even Clint, you know, standing on the sideline. Okay, what are you looking at today? You know, I pick up little things like that. Back when Nathan Brown played, as a general rule, I will not talk to a player, but Nathan was one of these young people that you could talk to and feel comfortable talking to him, and he would tell you what he was seeing, you know, which was kind of neat. So, you know, I'm just looking for you know, odds and ends, and you know, something that might add a little bit to the broadcast, that sort of thing. Everything I've done on the sidelines has been self-taught. I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way. You know, I just try to pick up a little, you know, a few things here and there. I've talked to other guys that's worked sideline before and picked up a few things from them. So, but most everything I've done down there, it's pretty much self-taught. I've got to paint a picture. I don't know if I'm the best at painting a picture, but that's what I've got to do. And you know, sometimes it's easier than others.
But yeah, I mean, I guess when Dr. T came on board, he had called and asked if I was interested in being part of the broadcast team. I knew they were making some changes, and I was thrilled about the opportunity. And so he said, well, who would you want to do it with? So I immediately called Sully, and he was a little bit hesitant at first too, but because he had done games before at Arkansas State, a little further out, and so the home games were a little tougher. But with Central Arkansas being close with the home games, and it was convenient for both of us, we both jumped at the opportunity, and I don't think either one of us regrets it one bit. That's been great. And of course, we worked together at Channel 7, so I mean, we had a good relationship anyway, and I knew it'd be fun. I'd stepped away from TV by then, and so we were doing, I was doing radio, just radio, and he was doing TV, but we'd worked together some outside of that as well. So yeah, I knew it would be great, and he's such a great energy guy, and he's so much fun to be around and so knowledgeable. So that's been fun. I mean, he's kind of been a mentor for me, and working with him has been great, and working with Monty, and it's just been awesome. And Coach Conk was great, and Coach Campbell's been fantastic, and I love his staff and working with them, and the kids have been great to get to know over the years. And now some of them, of course, have moved on and become coaches like Coach Brown and Coach Cunningham, and that's been fun to watch them develop as players and now become coaches, and it's just been a neat experience. Honestly, I find myself trying to keep up with him because I've listened back to some of the broadcasts, and he's so up here. And if I'm even just here, it sounds weird, So, I mean, I do think I balance him out a little bit, that I'm a little more, even keel, a little more analytical. But, I mean, his excitement's infectious. So I try to get my energy up to where he is. I think it's a lot more fun to listen to that way. I think probably trying to figure out exactly what my role is. And we try to feed information, but try to make it fun. And Sully's got the entertainment part of it covered. So I just try to get as much information as I can. And I try to find tidbits through the week and talking to the coaches and really try to get more insight. So if there's one thing I've gone better about, probably it's prepping for the broadcast. I'm learning exactly what I want to try to convey to the listeners through the games. And talking to Coach Brown and talking to the other coaches through the years too, I think I have a little better understanding of the game probably than I did before too. But I think at the end of the day, it's just making sure you have all the sort of technical stuff worked out, so then you can just have fun doing the game and calling it like you see it. I usually do about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours before the coaches show, and sometimes I'll do a little bit on Sunday because it's still fresh in my mind from the night before, and then I'll finish out with an hour or two on Monday. And then I honestly don't look at it a lot through the week because I'm so busy just getting through my show each week and prepping and talking about other games and what's going on. And of course we have station events and things like that too. So it's difficult, and we're going to Little League practice and things that dads do. So and then I really start kind of prepping hard again Friday. And really I like to get it kind of close to broadcast time. So I'll do 2 or 3 hours before we kick off, and I sort of get relaxed and get in the booth way before game time, get all the equipment set up. Then I can go through all my final notes and sort of refine what we had from earlier in the week, because it's really just building off what I got ready for the coaches show. I try to come up with something that's sort of out of left field, see if I can get Sully to laugh. So I try to be comedic relief, and I don't do it probably typical for a lot of color guys, but I sort of have a goofy sense of humor, and I try to get Sully laughing and having a good time with it. Sometimes it comes off as a little corny, admittedly, but he plays along with it okay. And I got to give Monty credit. I think he's incredible, honestly, because we don't talk about it. We don't have production meetings. We don't know what he's got. He's always got stuff to talk about, which is amazing. And it's not just like, hey, it's it's kind of windy down here or whatever. I mean, he's always got something to say. He does a great job getting reports on injuries if there are any. And I think he always comes up with great storylines, and he's always got something. Because again, I have no idea when Sully's going to pitch it down to him most of the time. He's like, let's run down to Monty, and I have no idea he's going to him, and Monty doesn't normally either. But he always is ready to go and always has something to offer. And people think that's easy. But I mean, if I prepped for 3 or 4 hours, I'm not sure I would always have something to offer if they came to me on the sideline. That's a tough gig, a lot harder than people think. The thing I like about it, honestly, is I feel like we've helped it become more relevant to the average sports fan in Central Arkansas, which I'm sure was part of the goal in bringing a guy like Sully on. And, me having access to a 100,000-watt radio station, that was certainly part of the plan. It's not because I'm so talented. I realize that. So that to me is exciting. And the great thing is we've been able to talk about a program that's been really successful, and people are always going to sort of align themselves with successful things. And, when there are other programs in the state that maybe aren't doing quite as well, they definitely will follow the Bears, which is great. They've sort of carved out their niche in the market, which I think is awesome. And, I'd like to see a few more casual fans come to games, but I think they definitely try to keep up with what's going on. And if there's a TV game, I think, we get a lot of response to that the following week. And, I love talking about it. And it's great. When you got a successful program, it's easy to try to sell it to the listeners.
Well, it's been the most fun I've ever had. For 3 hours, it's an escape, and there's never a dull moment. We've had so many games where I've used the term where there's life, there's hope. And you think UCA's out of it, and at the final seconds, they'll come from nowhere to win the game. And it's been so much fun. And the longer you do it, the more emotionally connected you get to Brad Teague, to the coaches. Loved Coach Conk, and I really love Steve Campbell. And it's been just so much fun. And the players, I watched Taylor Reed play in high school. You get close to, Des Lewis and Ryan Howard, and you want to see those guys do well. And I think the more invested you are, the more it shows in the calls. And those are all genuine. I'm that excited for UCA when they score. It's been great. It's, he's my chauffeur to the games. Like, we travel 5 or 6 hours, and he'll drive me to each game, and we have a big time. We're good friends. We're very honest with each other, and we're very honest about the game. Too honest sometimes. We let our frustrations show, and Times we've been high-fiving, and there's usually coaches from the other school in the press box next to us, and we leave our press box or our box embarrassed, our room in the press box. But it's been a lot of fun, and we've become closer friends doing the games, and it's something I look forward to every Saturday during the fall, is spending 3 hours with him and Monty. One thing I most appreciate about him, he'll come up with something when it's 63-0 or the game is out of hand, and it's tough to get that enthusiasm going again, and Acri will come up with that zinger right there, right at the right spot. And he's a very sharp guy. I wish I had his wit, and he uses it in the broadcast, and he always comes up with a little nugget to make the broadcast better. Well, Monty can go back to like 1956, and some guy scored the 3rd touchdown against Washburn University, and Monty will have the name, and you can't beat that history. And you know that when you go onto that sideline, you got a guy that has bled UCA purple for 25, 30, 35 years, and he is the nicest man, and we have a big time, the three of us, and it's just been much more than I ever anticipated. And I hate to say this, but I prepare more for UCA than I do for the opponent, and I figured the people listening to me want to know as much about UCA and their players, so I'm focused mainly on our team. I know coming up Southeastern Louisiana, Brian Bennett, they get explosive offense, but I'm more dialed in on UCA and whether Justin Dickey is going to play a role in the passing game, because the previous game I missed him going down the middle of the field, and I think it was his 3rd catch of the year. And I want to see the players who pop in or what they're going to do, and I want to be prepared for everything UCA does. And it's always a good time when Nathan Brown can shock the broadcast team, and he has a few times this year. I'll give you a great example. We were playing Stephen F. Austin, and we were down 10 points, and Justin and I were totally disgusted. It was not a good effort on a touchdown run by Stephen F. Austin, and I'm figuring this is going the wrong way. We're going to lose to Clint Conk, and then it's like 3rd and 2, and Taylor Reed fakes the handoff, spins, and I had no idea he was going to throw, and neither did Stephen F. Austin. He was going to go throw 60 yards to Desmond Smith, and that immediately we jumped out of our seats. And it's moments like that you know, you can't be prepared for, but you better be ready to call. I'm so invested in the product, and I go into each game thinking I don't know how many people are dependent on you. There may be 3, 4, 10, 50, hundreds listening, that you're their eyes. And that's not only a responsibility, but it's exciting that you're relaying the information to them, and you can't wait to tell them what's happening. And regardless of how many people are at the game or who the opponent is, it's so exciting each Saturday. And you double back to you're invested. You like these players. You want them to do well. And I mean, that doubles the excitement. So it's a combination of, you're invested in the team, and then you're trying to relay it to the folks who are invested in the program. And you add it up, and it's without a doubt, that and Friday night touchdowns are the highlights of my week, and I look forward to every game.
1st and 10 at the 29. Play fake. He rolls left. Pumps. He's going big ball. Receiver wide open. Desmond Smith, 30, 25. Count him down. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. UCA. 69 yards. He was all alone. Double move by Desmond Smith, absolutely froze the defender. And by the time he said up, he didn't even get time to get the O out, and he was in the end zone, baby. That was a fantastic pattern. Great job selling it on the play fake by Taylor Reed. Needed a response. We talk about explosive plays. That's as explosive as you get. 4th touchdown pass of the night for Taylor Reed. Wow, what a night